Welcome back. This is our second edition of Onboarding with the Guilds of Requiem. In this session, we are going to discuss the Agrarian Guild of Requiem. The best way to put it is they're the homesteaders, our preppers, and foodies of Guilds of Requiem. Come on, computer, be nice. So once again, I like to tell everybody what we're going to talk about so that we can talk about it, and then I can tell you what we talked about. That's every good meeting and public speaker there is out there. We're going to go over the history of the Agrarian Guild, what our Agrarian Guild actually does, our current gilded projects, our future gilded projects. It only has one sub-guild at the moment, which is our Homesteaders and Preppers Guild. And then we're going to end it with how to join. And I just realized I'm talking really fast, like I've had copious amounts of caffeine. So I'm going to take a deep breath while it changes. So history of the Agrarian Guild. It is part of our original 7-guild structure. Why did we have 7 guilds? It's an odd number. There should never come a time that if we have an odd number of guild masters or VPs, that as president, I was going to have to vote unless somebody abstained. That's the only reason. With the 8-guild structure, we'll see how that changes. I might still end up being the deciding vote. I might not. We got to kind of talk about that yet. It specializes in growing food and raising animals as a food source. That is pretty much the definition of agrarian. In 2020, we made the decision to move our Homesteaders and Preppers Guild from the Resources Guild to the Agrarian Guild, as we discovered that more and more of it had less to do with resources than resource management and actually having knowledge to have a homestead, having the knowledge to be a prepper, and those skills, a lot of them overlap. So we all had a discussion and have said, you know, we think Agrarian Guild is a better place for the Homesteaders and Preppers Guild. In 2021, I was getting burnout between being sick, and at the time we had very few members. We had a group called Requiem's Kitchen International Foodie Group. In 2021, we decided, you know, this is getting too much. A lot of the recipes that we were putting in our Homesteaders and Preppers Guild was getting repeated in Requiem's Kitchen. Can we please merge them together into one Facebook group and one concept? And that is where Requiem's Home, Hearth, and Heart was born from. We also have the beginnings of a community shared agricultural. It has kind of been a constant project for us, as a lot of our members live in San Antonio or live in other cities, or even are out here, live in apartments, or they're renting, where their landlord has said, no, you cannot grow something. No, you cannot have your own. No, 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 no. And so we said, yes, 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 yes. You come out, you help us, and we will gladly help raise chickens and food for you, in as long as you're coming out and helping. So it's kind of been a constant thing, but it's never been a formally recognized part of the Agrarian Guild. So what does our Agrarian Guild actually do? We do have the community shared agriculture project. And like I said, it's been a constant project for the Agrarian Guild. Currently, it has to do with poultry and aquaponics. We're trying to get the aquaponics up and running. We were hoping it was going to happen this year, but fate handed us a different deal. We were hoping to use the duck pond for non-edible plants that, or at least non-edible by us. Yeah, ducks do a lot of poo, and I just did not have a filter system built good enough to contend with that, because they moved in on day one that there was water in that pond. There was no chance for me to get an ecosystem established, and it failed this last month. I came out to dead fish. So that's a lesson learned. We do have an online community of resources, the Home, Hearth, and Heart group. We act as a resource to members who are wanting to know more about the specialized content we provide. Primarily coming from our property is the poultry and aquaponics. Matt has a soil food web, and you've got bat boxes. We have somebody who used to be all about the bees and making a nice habitat for them. Desiree has a very extensive knowledge in herbs and food preservation techniques. So it's kind of what we do, is we share all that information out. What are some of our current gilded projects? Like I said, we got the community shared agriculture, and all the way up until this weekend, we had almost 30 chickens and ducks. I do have a fish tank of aquaculture for a future aquaponic system. It does have some greenery in it. It currently is a very stable system that adding on more growing things will not present an issue. We do have people who share resources from their personal gardens. We also share knowledge and ability on food preservation techniques, and we can locate content of interest to the members. What are our future guild projects? This one's got a lot of them. And a lot of it has to do with how quickly do we have permanent buildings in which to have a retail outlet. One of the things that we'll have is Requiem's Gardens, which will be a commercial size aquaponics, but that doesn't mean we're running it alone. We will be doing a reach out to the local universities and colleges so that their students are learning about aquaponics. We have RealCAD drafting and aquaponics design. You probably heard me speak about RealCAD drafting. That's short for Robin Elizabeth Angelie. At one point I had it as K because I wanted to be extra special that way, but I try to keep things real and I shortened it down. And what this is it's functional design. We are expandable to meet a family's needs. Is it accessible to those with specific requirements? Is it affordable? Are they aesthetically pleasing? A couple of times I've had some people come to me that have a restaurant in Northwest San Antonio, almost to Bernie, like in that Dominion area. They wanted a aquaponics system to be a part of their restaurant design. So essentially when their chef comes out to the little grill area and they're doing their ha 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 and everything else, they are getting the fresh herbs from right there in front of the customer. Whether they actually took those designs and built them, I don't know. I don't get to go out and eat Chinese. That was before 2020, so it may not have happened at all. I got paid, so that made me happy, and I still have it in my book. It's also higher end installs for residentials that want an aquaponics system. They want it to be functional, but they also want it to look nice because they're there to impress their friends, which we have absolutely no problem with. It will, like I said, deal with large scale aquaponic commercial applications, and it will have an apprenticeship program. What are the sub guilds to the deal? It's our Homesteaders and Preppers Guild. That is one of our very first projects and guilds. Yes, go let the dogs in before they scratch a hole in my door. You guys are gonna get to meet the motley crew. We do have a spring and a fall bazaar. In the spring, it is the third Saturday of March. We discuss the basics of poultry care. We encourage a seed exchange. We do have a barter area, and that's at both of them, and that is a barter only area. That is strictly no cash sales. It is pure barter. We will have our community rummage sale area in which people we'll give them a little flag that basically says, I'm willing to barter, or they can take cash sales. And we also allow our vendors to barter, and they will have a different color flag to put on their canopy that says, I'm willing to barter. And we will allow them to have a table that they can put expressly, these prices are firm. These are things I'm willing to barter in. I'm not going to decline any of them that. I'm not going to insist that they have to barter. It just adds fun and a unique experience to Homesteaders and Preppers Bazaar. We are seeking out other related demonstrations and activities to being a homesteader and a prepper, and that is both for spring and fall. Our fall bazaar falls on the third Saturday of September, where we focus on processing your food, preserving your harvest, and winterizing your homestead. How to join? This is my favorite because I have taken over some threads and got some people to scowl at me or laugh, however they're feeling at that point, because I'm talking people on how to join guilds of Requiem. Our Agrarian Guild website is under construction. I'm working on them as quickly and fast as I can. Once it's completed, there will be a members only area where members only discussions not found on Facebook can occur. We will also have an apprenticeship and educational content that is only available to members on this website. How to help? This is the biggest one. Volunteer. Volunteer your knowledge, volunteer your time, and volunteer your skills. We are always in need of volunteers. As a formal nonprofit corporate private foundation, we run on volunteers. I do not know of any small nonprofit corporation out there, or even just a nonprofit in general, that doesn't run on volunteers. Even if they have some paid staff members, they still run on volunteers. They still depend on volunteers. So we are no different or exception to that. If you have any questions or answers, please drop them in the comments below. We will be monitoring them, and we hope you have yourself a wonderful time, and we'll see you at the next one.